How did your Wednesday practice go today?
First of all, I want you to notice I have on an orange shirt today, JJ, for the Astros. I'm not giving up on them just yet. I know you're front running with your Braves cap on, but I'm representing some orange over here. We were good at times, we weren't at times. Just preparing for a military school, the Army is a different style of ball, and it creates, different. Whenever you're different at practice, you got to get used to it. And our scout team was way better today. And our kids have been through a rough stretch. UAB was a really physical team, and BYU was a physical team. Now we've got another real physical football team. And all that being taken into consideration, it was a good practice.
Okay, Greg.
Jeff, you just touched on this, but from the injury and physical preparedness standpoint, do you change anything about recovery or how the players go through the week just to make sure everybody's fresh?
It's a fine balance because, they play a very physical style of ball. So you've got to duplicate their scout team look. And the only way you're going to do that is by running that option. And that's a bunch of reps or you won't be good at playing the dive, the quarterback, and the pitch. So it's a fine line. It's also sixth straight game in a row. It's also three of the most physical football teams in the country, back to back to back. There's a lot of factors at play. So we just talked about Nick and Dan and Marie and Theo and Lionel, and Ryan Philo and his strength staff. Those are all of our trainers, our med team. Those are the most important people on our team right now. Our guys have got to get in there and stay in there for treatment, take care of their bodies right now.
And you talked yesterday about that mental side as well, the efforts to make football fun. I'm wondering, is there any joke or anything you've told lately that you thought got a good reaction or any specific you can share with us?
Yeah, I think today I did a pretty good one. We started a new game where we're going to put up the high school players highlight video, and we're going to all try to guess who it was. And I went with Hunter Ritterman, the San Antonio legend, this morning as our player, and kids figured out who it was, and they've been giving him a hard time about some of his cuts he made back in high school, some of his touchdowns.
Do you talk to your assistants about trying to do stuff like that within their position groups or ways to sort of lighten the mood, or does that have to come naturally from those?
No, we work on it. It's very important to me. I think morale of the troops is just as important as the X's and the O's. Somewhere along the way we forgot this is supposed to be fun, and it can't always be fun. I get it. It's hot out there and we're banging on each other, but when there's moments, we need to laugh and we need to have a good time. And that balance, again, I know I use that word balance a lot, but that's what it is. It's a balance of smiling too much and being serious too much. Too much pressure versus being too loose. It's always a fine balance you're trying to capture as a coach.
Any ways you've seen that done effectively within position groups? I know Barry Lunny is supposed to be a pretty funny character. I don't know if there's anything you've noticed that the kids have responded to well.
I think the biggest deal there is for each coach to be true to who they are. That's the hardest part. I have a hard enough time being Jeff Traylor. I sure as heck don't need to be trying to be somebody else. So I think that's the biggest deal. Be true to who you are. But at the same time, we all share ideas. We've all worked for great head coaches in our own lives. We've learned things from other men. So we share things that we've done through the years that have kind of picked up practice, pranks we played, just fun stuff that, we're still kids at heart ourselves. We just don't look like it anymore.
And as you go through this week and you're working on the quarterback decision here, I know you're not going to give us the specifics of it all, but when you're looking at that, how much do you weigh like game film versus practice performance? Is one more important than the other, or how do you evaluate it overall?
Well, it's all important. But there's other factors involved as well. You've got health of players. It's not just performance based only. It's who's the best, that's the healthiest. And you can use that analogy for so many other players. It's just we all love talking about the quarterback, but those decisions are being made everywhere on the football field. In one way or another, that this kid might be better at this, but he's nicked up this part of his body right now, so this kid's going to play in this position or this role over this other kid because it gives us the best chance to win. And if there's anything 2020 has taught us is we need to get through today. And let's get through Wednesday. And then, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic either. It's just literally, who knows? I mean, I don't believe we're playing the game, Greg, until my headphones are on, my mask is over my face, and the ball's kicked off. And I'm like, every time I say the same thing, I said, boys, we're getting to play again this week. Until that moment happens, I don't take it for granted.
I imagine part of that balance with the injured players is you don't want anybody to feel like they lose their starting job because of an injury, but then also, like you said before, you don't want them to push through when they're less than 100% if they could be putting themselves or the team at risk. How do you sort of go about helping the players to navigate that? That could probably be a challenging thing for them.
Yeah, it's just really simple. Every decision we make is what gives us the best chance to win the game. And the way that we look at that is what chance does this give us to be our very best tonight? Because if we're at our very best tonight, then that gives us the best chance to win the game, obviously. So I don't make comments like the one you made, no one loses their job because of injury. I just, what gives us the best chance to win the game tonight? That's the only decision we're going to make. And nobody's, there's just not anything more to it than that. You can work that in so many different ways and so many different angles that you want to try to pick it apart. But the truth is what gives us the best chance to be our very best tonight. And whatever that is what we'll do.
Okay, JJ?
Jeff, do you know today who will be your starter at quarterback, or is that going to be a game time decision Saturday?
No, we know who it's going to be, but it'll be announced this Saturday.
Okay, Hector?
Morning, Coach.
Good morning, Hector.
Whether it's quarterback or any other position, you talked about the factors that go into deciding who plays, who starts, etc. How much of a factor is the fact that this ball game's not a conference game? Where does that kind of fall into the factors?
It doesn't, and I know I got asked that. You'd be shocked at how many people that I care about, or I wouldn't be even having a conversation with them that just didn't want me to play our kids against BYU or Army and just put them on the shelf and save them for a conference. People that make those comments have not really been in locker rooms and don't understand what does that mean? Where does that stop? I mean, which ones are you pulling out? I mean, so, think about that. Sincere, we're going to rest you. Mako, we're going to rest you. Zakari, we're going to rest you. But hey, KD, you're going to play. And oh yeah, by the way, Josh Otis, you're going to play. We care about those guys, but we don't care about y'all. I mean, where does it stop? When you go suit up and play in the locker room, if you can go, you go play. And that's just kind of the locker room mantra. And that's just the way we roll with it, Hector.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, Greg?
Jeff, what are your expectations for fan support this week? Do you feel like you've done enough as a team to maybe generate a little more excitement?
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you, Greg. One more time, please. I
was asking what your expectations are for fan support. I know you guys have kind of generated some excitement. I wasn't sure if you thought there might be a larger turnout.
The coach talk is control what you control, trust the process. We can't worry about it. The human side of me, for my players, hopes our city, shows up. And because I want to really brag on the Alamo Dome again. They've done a fantastic job of keeping everybody safe. I have so many family members that have come to the game, and they really brag on what the Alamo Dome has done to provide a good game experience, but at the same time keep everybody safe. So I hope people trust that. Now, I think what hurts us, we've been on national TV now. This will be number 6. So I'm sure people are just saying, "Hey, why go down there? I can just stay home and watch it on TV." So that might be hurting us. Then the last point I'd like to make is because we're playing the Army and we're our military city USA, I think they're going to pick up some fans there too. I hope so. I hope so, Greg.
And are you guys still making it through that streak of COVID testing without any positive results? Have you had any blips on the radar there?
No, sir. The streak is over. We had one positive, believe it or not. So that's where we are right now.
But nothing that kind of sent any ripple effects with contact tracing or anything? Is the roster mostly good to go?
Contact tracing is being researched and doing the protocol. And we won't know about that, for whenever Dan and Nick get those all finalized.